Ситуация пошла, все завис. Всем привет. Ну чё? Пятница. Будем обозревать субботу. Отлично, да? Будем делать обзорчик на завтрашний день. Вот. Так сказать, Хай-Резы предлагают нам еще одного нового бога. Там пару минут осталось. Ну, пока соберетесь, если вообще кто-то придет. Да. Придет. Так, выключу сам себя. Хули, блядь, сам себя слушаю. Вот так вот. Так, выключу сам себя. И опять сам себя слушаю. А ты, блядь, долбоёб. Сорі. Всем привет. Еще раз. Еще раз. Это у нас ЗБТ? Нет, это просто обзор патча. ЗБТ будет в четверг. Следующий, по идее. Сейчас будем пальцы смотреть. Сейчас. У меня все сделано. Я все сделал. Да, короче, все ништяк. Там 2 минуты до старта, короче. Ну. Мы сейчас... Да. Вот. Ждем, короче. Вот он. Блять, это нельзя, это не нужно сдвигать. Вот это нужно сдвинуть. И увеличить. Увеличим. Вот так вот. Вот. Заебись, да? Почему здесь такой проб? А, да. Сейчас вам сделаем поадекватнее. Вроде слышно, да? Ну чё? Ну чё? Всё? Стартуем? Хай-Резы представляют. Это новый скин, походу. На Аида. Бахус. О, Бахус крутой. Бахус рили крутой. Зачетный Бахус.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the 5.11 update. I'll be your host today, Aggro. And look, this 5.11 update,
пацаны?
it's a matter
Все,
of
привет,
life
народ. Сейчас на чатик
and
перезапущу,
death.
секунда.
That's the name of the update. I just thought I'd throw a little bit of
Чатик только
gravity
перезапустим.
into the situation. Look, we got a ton of great stuff for you. Just got a preview of the awesome skins you'll be seeing in this update. Of course, we've got God balance, item balance, and the new god, Baron Samedi. If you haven't been paying attention, we've been leaking stuff about him all week long, and this is going to be one of my favorite god reveals we've done in a long time. But we gotta wait a little bit until we get there. First, let's go over again those skins if you missed them.
Смотрим патч
Right off
сегодня.
the bat here. First up, let's go over Evil Spirits Bacchus. Of course, we will go over these a little bit more in depth, but that's the card art for you here. Probably the most intimidating Bacchus skin yet. I do not want to get flopped on by that guy. I can tell you that much. Next up, Plague Lord Hades. Hades getting another dope skin. This one kind of similar to the
скины очень крутые, да?
Don't know if it's the most traditional duo lane you could run, but certainly the most witch doctor-y duo lane you could have. Not last, but certainly not least, Star Spangled Nike. 4th of July coming up, and you got to celebrate in style. Imagine the patriotism of knocking someone up into
да ладно, серьезно, Кэп Америка, типа. Только Баба Америка. Здорово, привет, супчик. Всем привет.
How much America you would just shove in the face of your enemies with that combo? Give it a shot. That's what I'm going to be doing. First up on the list, we're going to throw it over to the desk. We got a couple bug fixes they got to go over. It's Hindu, and it's AJ.
Thanks a lot, Aggro. And yeah, that's some mighty, amazing comedy value with sarcasm thrown in. You really did that well. AJ, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
You ready for
Of course.
So obviously no Pom-Pom this week because he's currently at E3. But
I heard he's having a great time.
It
was a really cool conference.
I'm not gonna lie. We plan for us to get on with the patch this week. It's all about bug fixes and of course balance. First of all, we'll go through some of the bug fixes. First up is Stone of Binding. There was an issue with this in the game where this ability no longer stacks if multiple gods buy it. I mean,
это итемы сначала, по идее.
Yeah, we've seen this. A lot of the pros actually noticed this, and it's been optimized recently in there. They've been building it double, or maybe even more. We noticed that it's only been stacking one additional time. That's not intended, so that's me fixing 511.
After that, we've also got a very interesting issue with Vulcan for you all. In the Inferno cannon had a bug which was fixed an issue where Vulcan's Inferno cannon would be invisible on the Joust map while playing in Spanish or Portuguese language.
Это такое.
Just that. Just on Joust and just with
one
Spanish.
One of the most difficult bugs to track down recently. Very strange. Apparently, Inferno Cannon is an old god.
Okay.
It was using a little bit of old code that was mostly functioning, but had some very strange connection in the database that was causing language settings. Like, normally language settings do not affect abilities in any way. So we were really confused about it. Big shout out to the community for helping us track this one down. A lot of people on Twitter and stuff helping, giving us pieces of the puzzle. It took us a while to put it together, but that'll be fixed in 5.11, and now you can always see those Vulcan turrets.
There you go. You abusive Spanish and Portuguese people who have been using that cannon to your effect. Not this time round. It was only the people who were using it who wrote that? Is that what happened?
I believe all players.
Камон, я не сука англичанин.
Okay, and then
Дай мы Бога пришли смотреть.
Bug fixes. We're not going to go through every single one this
Это чисто фикс был, там ничего такого.
Right, couple things I want to go about.
Они чисто фиксы говорят. То есть, типа, ничего сверхъестественного интересного.
So once you get the actual notes, they'll be out soon.
Это чисто для консолей был фикс, вот это сейчас он показывает, поэтому вообще все равно.
There's some spectator ones, and there's a bunch of audio passes. So this is the first patch where we had a lot of that come in. We're going to keep looking up that in the future. But just to summarize a bit, we've gone over Thor's ultimate for all skins and adjusted the audio to make sure that the volume and the distance you can hear it is consistent across all skins.
Их слышно или громче сделать?
We did a pass on the anime Ratatosker skins to make sure those ultimate abilities sound consistent with the rest of his kit. Sobek, there's some Kukulkan, there's a whole bunch of things on there, and there's going to be more. There's a lot in 5.11. There's going to be, we're going to keep working on it. A bunch of voice packs and announcer packs, Laughing Skull.
Надежда на то, что патч будет хороший, есть.
Ganesh and Tina, you'll be able to hear a little better, equalized with a lot of the other packs. So a lot of consistency passes.
Hearing Tina better is what I heard at the end.
Ты их понимаешь? Не особо, чувак. Сейчас это просто фиксы, поэтому ничего даже понимать не нужно временно.
Consistency. So some were made quieter, some were made louder, but they should be a lot more consistent in 5.11.
Well, let's move on to items then. A little look at the bugs is over. We're going to start with breastplate. Is going to be the first item looked at here. We're going to be increasing the cost from 500 to 600. The silver breastplate is also going to increase from 950 to 1050 as a result. But we've decreased the cost of Hide of Nemean Lion and breastplate of Valor Spectral Armor by 100 to keep them at the same price as the previous patches. So early game is going to cost a little bit more, but it's still going to give the same thing.
Right, so this is actually a very specific targeted nerf towards the solo lane. Right. Specifically, when you're playing usually a Guardian or a Healing Mage, to counter your Warriors, they can build a very strong starting loadout that was Warrior's Blessing, Health Chalice, and the Breastplate, which perfectly spent your gold and was really strong.
Okay.
So what we're doing here with this is a very slight nerf. It's going to have big impact. So it's 100 gold change in the Breastplate and the Tier 2, but it's going to change the way you build at the start. You're not going to be able to do that loadout. You're going to have to sacrifice the Chalice, or you're going to have to switch to just stack the potions, or you might have to switch to boots. So really what we're trying to do here with this change and a few more changes you'll see today is bring Warriors a little bit more back to the solo lane.
Okay.
We've only seen a couple Warriors. We've been seeing a lot of mages, the healing mages, and a lot of Guardians. We like the solo lane diversity, but it actually feels too swayed away from Warriors right now. So there's going to be a couple changes to push those back to normal.
Okay, so then that's the breastplate one. Move on to the next one, which is part of that, I would say. Gladiator's Shield. Gladiator's Shield, if I speak English. Increase the physical power from 15 to 20. So
Апнули щит гладиатора.
Yeah, a little
Это
power,
очень круто.
We've adjusted this item a lot, and actually the most recent ones to it were all...
На 5 физы, но все же хоть что-то...
This item had really tanky stats at first. And in Season 5, we've seen a lot of shifts, minion damage.
Так сказать, будет желание не продавать его в конце больше.
So we're upping the power end of this. We don't want to bring back the protection. I mean, for one, we've already been through that, and for two, we want to promote aggression, and we also want to make sure warriors feel good early game, so we're just going with the power buff here.
Okay, so the whole 5 power on that. Next up, Rod of Asclepius and Rod of Healing, both going to get touches here. Rod of Asclepius, first of all, we're going to decrease the health from 250 to 200, and decrease the movement speed from this item from 10% to 7%.
Асклепию понерфили в плане хила. И скорость передвижения уменьшили. Прибавку к скорости передвижения.
Exactly. So healing mages
are taking right now.
Big time. Big time. We've never seen Ra higher than this. Aphrodite. We wanted to take a look at this item. Specifically, it enables a lot of these characters. But
на предпоследней стадии, последней стадии уменьшили скорость передвижения, которую он дает, на предпоследней с 7 до 5 и на последней с 10 до 7 или сколько там было, и хил уменьшили, и прибавку хп тоже.
So just taking those down a little bit, this is a pretty small adjustment here, and then we're going to look at a couple of those other gods specifically, just to make this item feel like the stats are rounded out.
That's fair. Okay, next up, Shaman's Ring. This is going to have a now damage required to stack
шамана.
Post-mitigation, not pre-mitigation like it was.
Right, so we had two things in the game really that count your damage for a purpose of upgrading. Jubilanke ult and Shaman's Ring. So in this patch, you're going to see both of those change from pre-mitigation to post-mitigation. Originally, we liked pre-mitigation. It made sense to us.
По идее, она теперь будет лучше
It felt kind of strange. Because the number you were actually seeing in the world, flying off people, wasn't the same number as what you were actually earning. So now it's going to be more consistent, and it's going to create a little bit of additional choice here where you're going to want to prioritize targets you can hit harder, right? So if you hit just tanks, you're going to stack a little slower. So it's going to overall, it's going to nerf both of those effects though and slow it down because even squishy characters have some amount of natural mitigations from the base stats and stuff like that. So it is a nerf.
You did mention Jubilanke there as well, right?
Yeah, it's a spoiler alert.
We'll get to that later on for sure.
One second.
Next up, Void Shield though is the last item on the balance. We're going to decrease the cost of this item from 2,700 to 2,600 to 100 gold nerf. But not only that, we're going to increase the health.
Посмотрим, я подумаю.
This is a big buff.
Void Shield.
I mean, this is a scary item. We've seen it come back, and when it comes back,
увеличили хп. Это сейчас что это за бред?
So we're going to try a little bit different adjustment with a little bit of cost and health. Previously, this item had more power.
Void Щит — это щит, который дает ауру, снижающую броню вражескую. Ап неплохой, в принципе, потому что хп он сотку всего лишь давал, 150 теперь, ну, неплохо. Мелочь, но приятно. Вот. Кольцо все-таки понерфили, да. Проебался.
For the mages, or specifically healers for the solo lane and as such. Okay. Then, and it's on to the god section, which is quite a few gods this week. We'll start things off with a Muzen Carp. Now, a Muzen Carp, he's going to have a bit of a change here.
Yeah, so I mean, technically this is a shift because this part is a nerf, but our overall intent is to buff the god. Really what we want to do here was Muzen Carp's B's ability, disarming people.
Right.
This was like more of a thematic choice from the designers back when this was initially added. Having bees all over you.
Ну, не юзались. Нет, еще. Его все равно будут покупать хилеры.
But it worked in a very strange way in the game. You had to have a certain amount of time where the bees were on you, and then
hard to notice when it was.
There wasn't any feedback that you were about to be disarmed. I mean, it took multiple abilities.
Буду стараться переводить на все, что хватит моего инглиша, так что извиняйте.
Part of his kit, so we're taking that out of his kit. I don't expect this to be a big nerf for him, but it's more of a consistency cleanup thing.
So as you can see, the bees no longer disarm, but the hives have had a buff. We're going to increase the attack speed on this from 10 to 30%, will be now 10 to 40%. But not only that, increase the movement speed from the hives as well. It was 5 to 25%, it's now going to be 10 to 30%. So early game, it's going to be a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, so what this is kind of a revert.
Апнули Ули.
Muzen Carp was dominating the map.
Ули теперь дает больше скорости передвижения.
He was the best he's ever been.
На всех стадиях плюс 5%. То есть это плюс, так сказать, поскольку у Охмазгова не было эскейпа. И в качестве отсутствия эскейпа он, типа, как это сказать, ну, типа, нету эскейпа, зато скорость передвижения от ульев большая. Теперь еще лучше. То есть отлично. Это хороший баф. в данный момент ценятся те же персонажи с эскейпами, потому что много кто с танка может просто порваться и законтрить его. То есть ахмазгабов плюс достаточно. Возможно, не будет такой уж прям не очень в данный момент. А когда сам патч через вторник, в этот либо в следующий. Афродита.
To 12.5% per tick, so it's a 90% total to 75%. Right, is what's going to be the difference there.
This is an extremely high scaling for a heal. Generally, we don't allow this type of scaling heals. So this was causing Aphrodite to be healing really. I mean, now that she's come up into the meta and people have figured out the build and kind of optimized her position, she was the most healing god in the game. Right, out healing gods like Hell, who usually are AOE healing and stuff like that. Oh yeah, actually out healing Hell.
Афродита уменьшили хил, короче.
Chang'e and Ra and Guan Yu, she was out healing them by a long shot. Hell was the only one even close. Okay. So just a little healing nerf here.
Я запомню. Сейчас позвоню, приглашу, почему бы и нет. Давайте позвоним Хартусе.
It's really nice to see mages in the solo lane, but we want to make sure the counters exist. So right now we've been seeing those heavily prioritized.
So when it says decrease the magical power scaling of the heal, it's just the heal,
just the healing,
not the damage.
Correct.
Make sure you
just
realize that.
The healing.
Okay, just to make sure on that. Apollo. Oh my goodness! What?
Apollo.
Yes.
Сейчас я тебя включу звук, секунду, я тебя выключу.
Welcome back, Apollo.
А ну скажи, что.
Apollo across the sky. Enemies hit by the last tick of the ultimate landing will be knocked up.
Yep.
Knock up is a straight up and down at low.
Понерфили, да-да-да, то есть хил будет меньше. Я занят, сори.
Yeah, he did.
But Smite has changed a lot.
Sure.
Meta has changed a lot. Apollo has struggled lately, heavily. Right. We've adjusted a couple things about him, trying to see, when you look at his kit on paper, it looks pretty good.
It's OP.
So we tried to adjust a couple things on him, see if that helped, and it wasn't really igniting. It wasn't really exciting Apollo players. They weren't picking him up more. His performance wasn't changing very much. Sure. So we wanted to go back and look at, this thing that he had before that was really iconic for him and really fun, and really powerful. But we wanted to do it carefully.
In the right area,
yeah. So the ultimate does not knock up the exact same way it used to. It used to knock enemies very away and pretty far. Now it's more of an up and down. It fits with him crashing into the ground.
Okay.
It feels like powerful and thematic ability. It reads really clearly because it's right when he lands too. It's only the last tick of the ultimate.
Okay, is it kind of like shockwave knock-up side?
Like yeah, it's similar to shockwave. Similar to Geb, yeah. The little up-down shockwave feel, yeah.
Just see how high that was going.
So this should really help Apollo's ultimate do more than just split push or scout out the map.
Okay.
Because right now hitting with that ultimate is a huge risk. So this will help mitigate that a bit.
Next up is a Wheelix or a Wheelish, whichever way you want to call it. Summon Suku. We've increased the strafe speed on Suku.
Апнули скорость передвижения на Пантере для Авиликс.
We've updated the ability description to show this is a speed cap, not percentage reduction of speed. Not only that, a Wheelish is also going to get Gravity Surge. The ultimate is going to come down in cooldown. It was 90 at all ranks. It's now going to scale all the way down to 70. 20. What's going on with the Wheelish?
So, the Suku one
уменьшили кулдаун ульты, типа со стадией при прокачке ульты кулдаун будет уменьшаться. Достаточно сильно. На последней стадии будет 70%. 70 секунд. Да, неплохо так. Еще ульту уменьшили кулдаун. Really неплохо.
So have it available for those late game team fights a little bit more. So
right, yeah. I mean, if someone goes with a comp with the Odin and a couple or
more, теперь будет очень сильно, по идее.
We just didn't feel like that was the case yet.
Поскольку покупаешь Йотуна, откат будет 50 с чем-то секунд. Но это очень мало. Плюс скорость передвижения теперь большая. Очень круто. Увеличили радиус
When Kepri abducts, he will now gain 10 to 30 magical and physical protections while holding an enemy god he hit with a duct. Has to be holding it.
Right, he has to be hitting and holding that god at the time. As soon as they break away, he will lose the protections. If he misses, if he goes to his minion, he loses it.
So what's the reason for that? Like, why are we giving him protections when he's pulling someone?
So Kepri was often punished for doing this. He wants to set up his team, he wants to do CC, but if he hit this, the other team would just blow him up because he's immobile, he's locked into an animation. So we just wanted to help offset that a little bit.
Okay, so a bit more protection for him to be able to use his ability. After Kepri, we move on to the Morrigan.
Да,
the Morrigan's going to get a bit of this patch as well. It's on her confusion, her 3, her stealth. We've increased the movement speed of this ability. It was 20 to 40%.
Апнули Morrigan. Ну как апнули? На последней стадии все равно та же скорость получается. Это вроде когда на инвиз заходит, у нее скорость увеличивается, то теперь она больше будет, но на последней стадии все такая же, 40%. Прокачиваться будет проще, в принципе. Ну, такое, типа, неплохо. Проще будет давать.
Buff is a pretty big deal for him. Yeah, especially when it's going to be the last one you max anyway, so it's a nice little buff.
Right, 1 point wonder here.
Yeah, that's what you're after. Osiris also going to get some love. Not seen Osiris recently. We might now. Sickle Strike increased the base damage from 60 to 240. Is now going to be 60 to 260.
Апнули Осирису урон чутка.
And Lord of the Afterlife, we've decreased the cooldown of this. It was 90 seconds.
Неплохо.
It's going to be 75 seconds at all.
Ульту смельчили кулдаун очень сильно, причем неплохо. Сейчас вообще бессмысленно, ты, когда будешь его качать, типа, то у тебя он быстрее будет, лучше будет прокачиваться в этом плане. И плюс на первой стадии он тоже будет, ну, на 10% лучше, то есть неплохо. 10%, ну, на 10 скорость. Осириса неплохо апнули. Теперь ульта будет очень быстро открывать. Круто.
Is actually going to go up a little bit. It was 70 to 50. It's now going to be 80 to 60. So 10 seconds at the top end in terms of where it was. I guess it was just too low.
It was the lowest cooldown in the game.
Понерфили ульту для Растчика. Теперь ульта дольше кадешится. Круто, потому что Ра очень бесил своей ультой тем, что он очень быстро ее юзал. Это было не очень. Круто. Это круто.
So we wanted to just slow that down a little bit so he's not doing this so
ну, типа на 10 секунд неплохо так. Неплохо.
A slight bump in the right direction.
A slight touch.
Yeah.
Well, next one's quite interesting.
Oh, here's a big one. Here's a big one.
Time to move on to our boy Tyr. Now, Tyr's gone through a lot of iterations.
He has.
AJ.
Yeah.
And as people can see on the screen now, it's already showing the disarm is going to be on there. Why are we bringing a disarm to Tyr? What is it Tyr needs?
So Tyr's just been struggling.
Теперь у него обилка станет на 1,5 секунды.
Right.
We made some adjustments. They didn't really have much of an effect on him. That's because he's a very hard to play god.
Sure.
You have to be really good in position.
Cripples and
теперь обилка Тира станет.
People can counter his main combo pretty easily.
Да, я
so what we
понял,
want to do is give
почему-то.
him something that doesn't just rely on his main combo.
Right.
This guard stance dash was really underwhelming ability. It just didn't do anything.
But it used to be OP, so I understand why it was so weak.
Right. I guess it had a knock-up, right?
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
То есть теперь Тир тащит, наносит урон и станет. Неплохо, если я правильно понял.
This is interesting because it has solo lane potential as well as late game counter potential, right?
Sure.
So he can slow down warriors clear by stopping them from basic attacking. He can also use this that if for some reason they do immune his fearless combo, he can go guard stance and he can disarm a hunter to slow them down, let him get a few more swings off, peel for his team better. Really, we just wanted to give Tyr is such a flowy god, and you're switching and you're rotating your abilities and going through your cooldowns. We wanted to give it another component to weave into that combo to make sure that players who play Tyr really well will be rewarded for it.
This seems like a great, in my opinion, it's a fun change because he can pop Magi's himself now.
That is another key component of this change.
He can pop beads a little bit now beforehand and maybe go for his fearless.
Being able to break bubbles on his own with this guard stance ability will be big.
So obviously with the disarm, the guard stance damage is also going to be separated from assault stance damage as well.
Слушай, богов, да, и хиллеров понравилось, мне это понравилось. Теперь в плане хила будет, ну, типа, хиллеры будут похуже, это хорошо очень.
Damage is staying the same. This is only
увеличили урон ему.
40 damage was just like, that's nothing. Right. That was because of the whole 2-1 50% connections. We're just going to break that and specify the number.
Той же способности на 30 на последней стадии. Неплохо. Тир теперь очень сильный будет, по идее.
Жбаланки. First of all, damage required to stack is now counted post-mitigation. Right. Adjusted buff bar icons to show difference between damage counter stacks and physical power buff stacks. Not only that, we're also going to be touching the Darkest of Nights. It's going to have a bit more of an increased cooldown. It was 90 seconds, it's now 110.
Oh. увеличили кулдаун для ульты жбаланки. В принципе, ожидаемо было, потому что она глобальная, ну, типа, такое. Каждой катке, ну, посмотрим. Завтра будет видосик более подробный на Рус. Все четенько будет. Кратенький такой, за 5 минут, там, 8. Это очень сильно ульта некоторые. Ну, блин, ну, типа, глобалка, да, но это было слишком ожидаемо, что они сделают его 110 секунд. В того же Аполлона она вроде столько же кулдаунится.
Okay. So it's tricky, so yeah, up in that just to bring that inconsistency.
Well, that's it for all the items and gods this week. Thank you for joining me, AJ. Here's a little look back at what we saw in the gods if you just tune in. Buffs for Morrigan, Kepri, Apollo, Awelix, Osiris.
Тир будет очень сильный. Тир это просто жесть. Очень жесткий баф Тира и Виликс. Тир будет вымать ёбучий просто вообще на ура.
I feel weird here without my Pon wig and when I'm impersonating him. Yeah. Without him here with me. Yeah. Rest in peace, Pon.
Так что любитель Тира.
It's time though to get back over to the skins before we get into Baron Samedi. It's time to head over to Aggro and his guests on the couch.
Thank you very much, guys. Excited for that tier change, but Apollo main right here. Sign me up right now. All right, as you mentioned, it's time for the skin section, and as usual, I'm joined by Tina and Ashley here on the couch, but I've also got a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Thor DG. Thor, what is up, my guy?
Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Nice. I've made it, Chad. I've made it, everybody. How you doing out there? I will say, I think I've broken your couch, though, so I'm kind of sinking into it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Just come here and break our couch. That's totally fine. Thor, why don't you let people know what you've been doing here? You've been here for a little bit now.
Yeah, I'm spoiling everything. No, I've been here for the last 2 weeks. No, seriously, I'm blinking 3 times. Come save me, Chad. No, I've been hanging out with the Realm Royale team, the Smite team, getting to see what you guys are working on. So I might have earned the biggest creeper ever brought to the studio. So nice. There's that. I've been standing behind just people, just kind of
learning all the secrets.
All the secrets. So.
Seriously, you can never leave.
Yeah,
I hope you know that.
I will say though, I feel like a bad parent in my community. I'm just hopefully not running around the studio or wherever they're at, just like smearing everything on the walls. So hey, out there, calm down. Don't.
Relax, okay? Everything's fine. Thor's okay. All right, let's get into it then, guys. The skins section. We can get a little bit more in-depth on the skins we saw earlier on. First up, the Evil Spirits, Bacchus. We got to look at this one to start off the past show. Bacchus has a lot of fun skins. You know, he's Elvis. He's an opera singer, all this kind of stuff. This Bacchus is just a badass. Like, this dude's a beast.
Yes, and he's been cutting, too.
He looks good.
Yeah, look at those.
Ну, really годный, согласитесь.
He's looking really solid.
Им не хватало какого-то
такого
жесткого
with the workout routine, Thor?
A little bit. You know, listen, I had PTSD for Bacchus way back in arena, ranked arena. So now I actually have a face to put the fear behind. So yeah, he's bringing it, man. I'm impressed, definitely.
He's looking really solid there. Kind of fits with the voodoo theme that we have going on as well with this update. Baron Samedi obviously joining us as our first voodoo god, as now we'll get our first look at Evil Spirits Bacchus. This one, damn, he does look good, man. He really did lose some weight.
God, he's been pumping it nice.
Abs. He's got a 4-pack. That's better than what he had.
Man, Bacchus is in better shape than me, guys.
Мне нравится старый Бакхус. Да. Типа если оригинальный скин брать.
You guys see his insects around his head?
Ooh, instead of like the drunken bubbles now.
Yeah.
Это типа эмоции?
I believe one of our effects artists, Andrew, did those. They're corpse flies.
Yeah,
what I was told.
Corpse flies.
Такое.
Corpse flies.
Oh, corpse.
Выглядит он реально неплохо.
There he is. That's really awesome. He drinks the flies?
He's like, get away, flies.
Ooh, the voice pack is pretty cool. I'm excited to hear the voice
Хор
pack.
какой-то.
Still burping on full.
Не, выглядит неплохо. И скиллы неплохо меняются. Неплохо,
Very
серьезно.
bassy on the sound effects. We've been doing a lot
С
more.
учетом того, что новый сундук, в котором он будет, там будет 3 вещи по выбору, и там всего 3 вещи сейчас будет за 300 гемов. Это really годный скин. Считайте, 300 гемов сейчас можно отдать за вот такой скин. Ничего так.
Swoopy. I like the dark and destruction. There you go. I get on board with that.
Yeah, I can definitely see. You know, nothing feels good about getting belly flopped or intoxicated, but if it's gonna happen, at least it'll happen in a cool sounding way, right?
Absolutely.
Could be a lot worse. Let's take a listen to that voice pack.
How grotesque!
Только если на весь экран чатика не будет видно. Так что извиняйте уж. Черные полосочки никак не убрать. Ну, вось такой среднячок.
I love it. Evil spirits, Bacchus.
He's drinking juju juice.
He has drink. Is that what it is? Not
Juju
the flies?
juice.
Okay, that's better than him drinking the corp.
Какого-то пьяного, блять, вось какого-то пьяного аборигена. Такое.
That will definitely not get annoying in game.
Да.
Yeah, I don't.
Not like this.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
sorry. I am not sorry. It's gonna be great.
Wait, you wrote that, Tina?
Yeah.
Can you vocalize how you wrote it actually on the sheet for them to like? What did you have to write for that?
Ну, типа в плане соотношения реализма.
Is there a translation? Is there a story behind that?
В логике. Неплохо.
Yeah.
Блять.
He's a witch doctor.
Жестко.
So he just learned his own little language from his tribe or wherever.
Okay.
So he'll just, use that when he's happy and drinking his juju juice. So and he has like different fetishes.
Да, неплохий скин. Неплохий.
No. I mean, like.
Sure. Okay.
Not pervert fetishes. I'm talking
sure.
about like actual talismans and stuff. Like we're not
Хороший.
talking about fetishes here, you freak.
No,
anyway,
it's not. Okay.
We're just talking about like that's what he is. He's like
Сисфейс, да, очень бесячий выглядит.
Talismans and
Но выглядит все очень
he
круто.
likes to do chants like the boom blah 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 yeah whatever the stuff. Yeah.
And drink his juju juice.
And drink his juju juice.
I don't know if anyone, maybe nobody caught this.
Oh, and this is Todd Habercorn.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
the
voice actor is Todd Habercorn, which he is amazing.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
he's
clearly
done a lot of stuff.
Clearly is very good at speaking the witch
Их
doctor
пиздёж немного
tribal
мешает,
Yeah, it was
конечно,
really
но
funny for me to explain
извиняйте
to him
уж.
how to say it. He's like, so how do you say
Их
that?
выкрутить тише
And
нельзя,
I'll just
это
like be
одно и
like,
то же.
right? And then he'll repeat, and it was great.
Wow, impressive
And
stuff.
he kind of improv too, so it was.
Ashley, I missed everything. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you probably didn't notice this, but his name, like.
Ну, он выглядит более-менее теперь адекватно. Ну, в плане том, что Бахус, конечно, круто выглядит, но здесь он прям топово.
I'm really excited because of the Baron patch, and then it's gonna go really well with that.
Зачатный скин.
Yes, it does. It does fit with the thematic again, the voodoo sort of nature of this update, life and death, and Bacchus bringing that death. All right, that does it for Evil Spirits Bacchus. Plague Lord Hades.
Yeah.
Next up on the list. This one matches that of the Izanami skin a little bit, but definitely has like a little bit. I love the green that's ingrained with this. I'm always biased.
Скин должен быть тоже.
It's my favorite color.
But Tina, Jinx.
Universe Jinx. Galaxy Jinx.
Okay, I don't know. I'm lost. I lose the Jinx war. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody knows how much I love Hades. But I will say, you guys are leaving yourself open for some Izanami, Hades, romance, little wine, candles, dinner, little bloated corpses by moonlight. I don't know.
How do they kiss when they have those beaks?
Yeah,
just
they peck each other, dude.
Is that where you went?
They just
straight
peck.
to the beach.
I mean, no, you know what? I think Ashley has a great point here.
It's important.
Going to be difficult to do so. I mean, you don't want to take. Something tells me with the green lights coming from behind the mask that you don't want to take that off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. The romance is great and all, but
ooh, maybe they have really long tongues, so they just like French tongue kiss.
Okay,
and we got there.
And who would have guessed that it was Tina who would get us there, right?
Да все равно.
Immediately.
That Izanami skin
Неплохо.
is my favorite. Izanami skin.
Да, очень похож на Изанами, вот ты прав, но все равно неплохо.
So cool. I mean, like, it just looks really scary and really interesting.
Very bulky, and look at the
gaseous fumes.
The fumes, like the containers where all his plague is.
And the bubbles.
The bubbles coming out. I love the little tubes that come around as well.
Эта хуйня с спиной странно выглядит, но
Izanami skin is like very light.
в целом неплохо.
You know, she's kind of like wispy almost. This one, like Hades, is ready to mess you up, man.
Yeah, God bulkiness has been up 23% since I've been here, so I'm pretty excited
That's true.
about that.
Well, actually, Bacchus bulkiness went down.
That's fair. That's
And
fair. He's
now-
cutting.
Yeah, right. But it's turning that bulk into bulk. You know what I mean?
Balance changes.
Yeah, very
Да,
very
цвет
nice.
немного вот этот
Plague Lord
зеленый
Hades
не
with
очень
the,
только.
Auto attacks.
Прям такой цвет детской
Ooh, that auto attack
неожиданности.
smells is dope.
Но он подходит ему. Неплохо.
Very bubbly.
Yeah.
This whole skin is very bubbly. But those are not the kind of
Бля,
bubbles that you want to
инводный.
just like play around in.
Yeah. There's a concern when we do skins with green effects that the green will look like a healing. A lot of times
Сейчас
we
ульту
try to
покажет,
reserve
ульта
green
должна быть
effects
вообще супер.
for healing abilities. So there's a purposeful decision here with like making that green look poisonous, dangerous, not healing. Don't want anyone getting confused.
Right, a little bit noxious is like the right word, I suppose.
You want to know something very embarrassing?
I would love to.
Okay. Oh, I almost went a different direction with this, but I actually didn't know, because I hate Hades, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't know about the heal from Hades.
You didn't know that the blight healed?
Nope, absolutely not. So, yeah, I was going over the balancing thing. I was like, wait a second.
Ну, цвет очень токсичный, серьезно.
I was there the whole time. No one told me. That ultimate again very spooky.
Оно вписывается в скин, да, все круто, но токсичная жесть.
In general, again, keeping in theme with the life and death.
I'll have to break my curse. I may have to play some.
Вот эта штучка, что сужается, в этом видели такая, да? Там, когда он ультует, там еще такой кружочек маленький внутрь идет. Теперь будет, ну, видно, как ульта заканчивается. Это неплохо. Ну, на этом скине.
No, it used to be a guardian. We made him the mage.
There we go. I can't keep track of these
No, it's all right. You're trying to mess it up because Hades is the bane of your existence. This kind of is the bane of Hades' skin. Let's take a look at his voice.
Типа чего? Да, понятно. Войс ужасный только. Бля, я думал, войс будет нормальный. Вообще какой-то обычный.
What? I don't get it.
Типа голос злобного доктора и все такое.
Every time there's some sort of mildly inappropriate voice line, I look over at Tina, and Tina is already staring at me. Like by the time my eyes move to her, she's already just like staring right at me. Like, yeah.
Чтобы потому что голос похож у Осириса на воскрешенный, вроде так скин называется. Типа не Франкенштейн, а такой типа полузомби с водичкой вместо мозгов. Вот он бы так подошел быстро.
No, it's not an act. It's 100% Tina.
That is Tina all day.
Tina.
Every day. Yeah. I like the voice pack kind of makes him sound like he's like he's not some sort of like weird demon. He's like in control, right? He's an evil doctor almost.
So what he is I wrote him as a person who kind of lures children. I mean kids. I mean people.
People, yes.
Lures people, thinking that he actually will help them because that's what plague doctors do. They actually try and help people, but instead he's like, "Come hither," and then he just like.
Да, кстати, Ника, скорее всего, будет в билете, мне кажется. Вот там еще Нику покажут сейчас. Она, скорее всего, в билете будет, возможно. Но билет давно не пополняли.
No, but in tradition, like, I'm talking about traditional plague doctors, you know, they try and, like, cure the plague or whatever.
You've got ghosts in your blood.
Is, like,
Нет,
pretending to
сам
cure
скин
you,
выглядит
instead
круто.
just infects you more with that green shit. You know?
Fair enough. Yeah, the finger wag after that. All right, that's Plague Lord Hades. Then it's going to be Star Spangled Nike is next on our list. A bit of a patriotic skin here. This is like a mecha patriot almost, you know, like with the wings.
She's like a superhero patriot.
Okay.
Almost like an Iron Patriot.
Ну мы все знаем, откуда это. Ну, блядь, ну вообще просто...
That was good. I can appreciate that. Nike does already have one superhero-like skin. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's like the green one. Sparrow. Yeah. So now you can, if you needed a little bit more like machine in your life, in your superhero life, this could be the Nike skin for you. It looks really, really dope. I'm excited to see it in game.
A female superhero.
Of course.
The only sad thing is that we have to wait for 2 more Januaries. To get July's rather to get a full America team. So
it's true. What we've got raw. No, you've got 4. We've got 4 with this one. It's raw, Nox,
Даже очень неплохо.
This is 100% true.
We have 5. Chiron. Oh, America team. My bad.
America team. Yeah, not just
America's
like nationality team.
All right, one
you
more.
can do a North America team with the
North
Canadian
America team.
Canadian Chiron.
Yes.
Boom, baby.
You can make that work.
Yeah.
America's hat.
America's hat.
Star Spangled Nike, right there. Just red, white, and blue from head to toe. Not a moment.
Не, выглядит очень круто.
Here with her skin.
Да, ну сразу видно, что она спизжена, но выглядит круто, серьезно.
Got them both.
И с лица неплохо, и все прям круто. О, круто. Не, круто выглядит.
That music is incredible. Hold on, I want to listen to that again.
Классный скин, серьезно.
This is the most...
She has a background music to her life?
This is the most dramatic thing I've ever heard in my life, and I am so stoked.
Nike, how are you out of mana? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just hitting my abilities in lane to listen to my songs.
Yeah, I was just jamming. Imagine like going to steal a fire giant, you press the 2, the music starts playing, then you're trying to steal it with the red.
Мне такие крылья нравятся, прикольные.
So good. I love it. That is so awesome. I'm so excited to be using that.
Правда, неплохие.
And a little
Эффекты норм, да, эффекты очень круто. Вот это, особенно вот этого скилла. Очень сильно будет. Ливери.
So cool.
Рили классный. Он будет, скорее всего, в билете, либо в сундучке национальном. Либо там, где еще Зевс. Америка. Крутой скин, честно, крутой.
And the music again in the background. This is so dope.
That's pretty good.
I just feel like I'm in a movie when I'm gonna play this skin. Like that's exactly what it feels like. I've got to save America.
America, heck yes.
From some unknown evil entity.
Yeah, man.
And you're gonna do it.
Yo, don't forget to pop out the VXG.
Давайте даже качество поднимем чуть-чуть. Тупо забыл качество поднять. Вот, давайте качество. Спецэмоция. О, круто. Круто.
I want to tell you guys, there is music that goes along with this, but we
Да, да, ну серьезно, скин крутой.
As of yesterday. So just hang in there. It will be in the final release.
Смотрите, она такая няшная. Не, классненькая. Прикольно сделали.
Your face says...
Do you want me to make something
Absolutely. No, I don't...
Очень крутой скин.
Great.
That actually would fit it very well.
Now if it isn't that,
no,
then
it's not.
we're gonna
I
be...
think it's like... I just saw like badass America music as the description of it.
That's what I said.
That's what I gave you already.
Спишем, вот просто очень сильно, но классный. И voice неплохой.
It's a good story.
Are you called American or an Americant? Quit slacking, let's go!
Jeez,
no, please, ask me about my patriotism.
I'm digging it. Do we have the woohoo and that kind of stuff?
Неплохо. Блять, вот это будет жестко. Так что мут гарантирован, если у вас такой скин. Это пиздец будет.
Way to go. This skin is amazing. This is definitely my favorite Nike skin to date. Probably my favorite Patriot skin to date. I mean, I love the USA Zeus and the Raw and the Nox. But man, this one, the music takes it to a whole nother level.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
And of course, there
Еще есть эмоции. Да, скин годный.
Don't forget,
Интересно будет, где он.
The 2 announcer packs.
Ooh, there are announcer packs?
Yes, so there's gonna be Constable Moose Jaw announcer pack.
Анонсер пак будет еще, вроде. Да?
Because we couldn't figure out how to, you know, which one to choose, so...
So why not both?
Why not both? Yeah.
Why not both?
What is it?
Porque no los dos.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you.
Да-да-да.
Perfect. So
да ладно, годный. Ничего,
and that's coming in 5.11?
Рили отняцкий.
It's with this, when you go to get her, you'll hopefully also get the other stuff.
Awesome. That'll be it.
So much America coming at your face. I love it.
How are you going to be able to handle all of that? Now on the 4th of July, instead of going out and like spending time outside, because who wants to do that? You can stay inside and celebrate that way, right?
Eat it, Hindu man. I see you over there.
Well, Hindu man is...
There's nothing wrong with being pasty.
Is waiting. Is that what you think he's upset about? He's from England. That's what he's upset about.
Pip, pip, cheerio.
Sorry, we're celebrating leaving.
No, it's not because he's pale. Like, why you gotta come at him like that just out of nowhere?
Sorry.
I'm pale too. I'm gonna stick up for my pale brethren. Come on. That's messed up. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thor, thank you for joining us on the update show as well. It was a pleasure, my friend. Let's throw it over to the Englishman himself, sitting by with Isaiah.
Yeah, always nice to hear about America and freedom.
Сейчас опять
It's my
будет
favorite
пиздёж.
time of the year. Guys, I can feel the salt like all the way over here. It's like consuming everything. Man, it just gets every year gets like I thought Raw America was bad. I don't think it could have got worse than Raw America.
Right?
It just did. Anyway, I digress. It's time for the quick community update for you all. First of all, the esports section, which is why I'm on this for this week. If you've not been watching the Smite Pro League, you should be. It's 5 days a week, right. Monday through Friday. Every weekday at 3 p.m. we'll be live on Mixer to bring you all the SPL games and throughout the day too. Not only that, though, one thing to mention for you all is that we're going to have some support for community PS4 tournaments. Now, if you are interested in playing the PS4 and getting involved in the tournaments there, head over to esports.com/smite to get all your information about playing some PS4 tournaments that we've got coming through. And on top of that, Esports Weekly. Every Monday you can tune in to catch up on all your esports knowledge. I'm just doing this long on purpose because I know you're all waiting for Baron Samedi, that's why. But Isaiah, you're here because we had some issues with console again.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, we had to have some...
Ты Норрис пропустил, там очень крутые скины показывали.
I'm sorry, I'll take the blame. But
we've been
working really hard to get it fixed. We actually hot fixed on console today to fix a bunch of issues. But to kind of make up for the extended downtime on Xbox, on top of the already planned event...
Ну, осталась, так сказать, самая вкусняшечка. Новый бог, что ли? Да, новый бог. Ты как раз подуспел, сейчас будут показывать. Да, кстати, сегодня и по воскресенье включительно, то есть все выходные, за 3 победы дня дают сундучок синий. Нужна баба. Хорош лов.
Now, one other thing I've got to mention here as well, Isaiah, is Medusa's Deathmatch Community Stream Day. Is that another stream day coming?
Yes, another stream day is coming up. Okay. It's going to be on Tuesday, June 19th, and it's going to be super exciting. As long as you stream the new Medusa's Deathmatch adventure, grab 2 of your friends, enter that 3v3v3 deathmatch, and you can stream it to any platform. We have a form that you can fill out on smitegame.com, and we'll just send you codes.
Okay, so all you have to do is just stream, then play in the 3v3.
Что насчет режима?
That's simple. So how's your day been?
It's been pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about some awesome stuff that's coming up with Xbox.
Go for it.
Yeah. So right now we've currently got an awesome deal going on. We've been featured on Xbox for Games with Gold.
Там уж интересно, что там покажут нам. Но Барон еще, что там будет там. Давайте, пока еще не показали, ваши предположения в чат. Что будет? Типа, он будет магом, если что? Там ставки кто? Я считаю, что либо саппорт будет, либо какой-то некромантик, что поднимает трупов и типа играет за счет трупов. Как-то так.
Keep going, Isaiah.
I'm okay with this. Gold Bundle, it's an awesome deal. Over $100 worth of Smite content. All for free if you are an Xbox Live Gold member.
Well, there you go. Make sure you got the gold attached to your account on the console, on Xbox, I should say, and you'll be good to go. That's it for the patch notes this week. I'm enjoying trolling because I've not got the god. So it's them that are they're all gonna get upset when I go to the god yet. What's your favorite thing about the new god?
Більше, как обычно, Аркуш-2, Маг-Страж.
Oh yeah? Yeah. The brew's pretty good.
Стримит, привет всем.
But you know what?
Бог какой-нибудь.
Have a look at this.
Не славянский, буду. Привет, братиш. Блять, они опять этот тупой видосик показывают. Что будет призывателем. Да. Сейчас посмотрим. Я знаю, что Арти скинет. У него там онлайн пиздец, ёбнутый. Да, ко мне пришли самые верные зрители, так сказать. Да, он по-любому будет что-то призывать. Ну, по видосику даже намекает.
Welcome to the party, everybody. Baron Samedi coming to a game near you very, very soon, and let's get right into it. I don't want to wait any longer. I'm sure you don't either. I'm joined now on the casual by Chaos, Ajax, and Ben.
Да, сейчас посмотрим. Сейчас покажут.
Except for you, Chaos. This is your first one, right?
Так что, Денька, ты тоже подоспел вовремя. Привет всем, кто присоединился. Сейчас будем смотреть Барона. Так сказать, будем смотреть завтрашний день.
Wait until after this and go watch some YouTube VOD. Guys, Baron is a god that I think, as soon as he was announced, a lot of people got excited for. right away. The art style looks incredible. You got a real feel for his fun-loving nature there in that little video. What inspired you guys to decide that Baron was the right call for
у кого с телефона это все потащит, потому что битрейт очень большой поставил.
Really, like when he has all of the things you think of when you think of Voodoo. He's got the skull paint.
Но качество будет
You know
зашибись.
how much we love skulls around here.
We do.
He's also just a really clear depiction, so you've seen interpretations of him in a lot of different things, like lots of different books, games, movies, shows, and stuff have used the kind of voodoo lore and drawn upon the Baron's mythology to make really cool characters. So he's super iconic and he's super fun.
Yes.
So we really wanted to make sure we had a fun god, especially when you get into death gods. We have a lot of like dark, edgy characters, like throwing zombies at you or whatever. But Baron is like a very different tone.
Этот чувак всегда стоит, сидит на презентации нового бога, и за него всегда сидит новый чувак. Такое чувство, как будто если бог не удался, то его нахуй убивает и нового присылает.
The thing that we wanted to keep true to him was like there's a lot of depictions, like you said. So like we had to like have that happen, but then also so we stayed true to that, so you know when you see him like this is Baron Samedi, right? But then, yeah. Just to go more fun with it. Even with like his proportions got a little bit lankier, and like when he does some animations and stuff, there'll be like some stretching and stuff. So it's a little bit more just like fun. So it wasn't that different. I mean, you just kind of went a different route. Like instead of going dark, you go vibrant. You know?
Right.
But yeah, it was fun.
All right. Well, before we get into it, Chaos, I should ask you a question because I haven't asked you a question yet. Is he fun then to play as a mid laner yourself? Get away from the programming side.
Не, ну серьезно, они такие сидят убитые еще все время. Как будто, не знаю, им пизда там что ли или еще. Такие кисленькие, какие-то молчаливые в основном. Если не спросят, ничего не скажут. И каждый раз кто-то новенький. Такое. Жаль чуваков.
Different ways to play him.
Right.
And it's definitely really enjoyable using all of his abilities, the way they interact with each other.
Принуждает говорить, какой все пиздатый, на самом деле все говно.
So let's get right into his passive, I believe, is where we'll start. Or no, we have to go over a little bit of his lore, right, AJ?
Yeah. Did we show the card art too? I guess we showed that at the beginning.
We showed it. We spoiled this earlier.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because I'm sorry, this is just like some of the best card art we've ever done.
If not good.
This is awesome.
It was this got sent out internally, and I immediately saved it instead of the wallpaper. And then I walked up to go tell the art team how great it was, and I saw multiple other people who had already done the same, like instantly.
Yes.
Which usually people keep their favorite god there, so I'm really happy with this.
Он будет, скорее всего, в ульке призвать, типа, поднимать гроб из-под земли, один или два, и оттуда что будет вылазить, короче, наносить урон. Да, что-то такое, по идее, будет. Сейчас посмотрим.
People to death and to the afterlife and helping them cross over.
В плане обилок он должен быть really интересный.
Making sure that there's nothing strange that goes on along the way. He very much does not like undeath or zombies. He's very much against that.
Okay.
So he is also the bringer of life, right? So he can cure people, he can cure curses, and he can heal people. He's more of the decider if it's ready for you to die and you go directly to the afterlife, or if you need to stay in this life.
Gotcha.
And we've used a lot of that theme of life and death in his kit. And that's kind of translated into this supporter, utility, healer mage that really just wants to stay in combat for a long time. Especially the longer he fights, there's multiple mechanics. The longer he fights, the better he's going to be in that team fight.
Yeah, it feels like he's got there's a million things when we're talking about what Baron has dominion over or what he does. There's a million different things in his lore, and I feel like the kit had a lot of stuff that it had to hit if it was going to be Baron Samedi, and I think that we got there pretty nicely. So let's get into it then with the passive. His passive is called Hysteria, and there's a couple parts to this, but let's start with what Isaiah kind of talked about there, that Baron's Brew.
Yeah, so there's basically two parts to it. We really wanted to get across how infectious his party spirit was and how he kind of spreads this hysteria. And we noticed when we were researching him that he tends to drink this rum. He carries around this rum a lot. So we thought, what would be a better way to get the party started than offering his friends some of that rum? So Baron's Brew is it's a unique consumable chalice that you can buy in the shop.
Okay.
It only costs about 150 gold, and it restores health and mana over time.
So this is just.
У него свои фласочки.
Yeah, basically it's like a chalice multipot.
Да.
Worse than the health and mana.
У него пассивка, у него свои личные фласки будут.
Okay, so 150 gold for this in the potion. This is our first time getting a chance to see him in game as well. I love this. He's just like randomly snapping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's got a tune playing in his head.
Yeah, he sure does.
All the time.
Yeah, he has a lot of really cool animations.
Ну, пафоса ему, конечно,
really
не прибавлять.
So, course, to get the party started, he's going to share that rum with his whole team. If Baron is on your team, you have access
Более
to the
ехидного
site.
пидорского взгляда в игре еще нету. Ну, есть челки, конечно, но...
You don't have a limited number?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so you get an extra little bit of bonus just for having Baron on your squad. Wait, was that his regular jump?
That was. He has a very flavorful jump.
That's so cool. My man is nimble.
Да, анимирован, конечно, круто.
He's smooth.
He really is.
Серьезно, Ром?
Oh man, I love this character so much.
Why not?
All right, so you said there's 2 parts to Hysteria. What's the second part?
Right, so the second part is we didn't want to exclude anybody from the party, so we wanted to make sure that he could basically apply this Hysteria to his enemies. And so Hysteria is basically a stacking debuff that gets applied from all your abilities and your auto attacks that ramps up over time. You can kind of think of Hysteria as having 3 different stages. There's basically like no Hysteria, some Hysteria, which is about 30, and then max Hysteria. When you're at no Hysteria and you're just using your abilities, basically all of them have their base functionality.
Это дебаф. Первый скилл, это же был первый скилл, вроде это был дебаф. Или это от пассивки стакается.
Okay.
And they add on and it augments them to do cooler things. When you get to that max Hysteria, you actually, all of your damage sources end up doing an extra 25% more damage.
Okay, so you really want to hit either one person with a lot of stuff or everyone with at least a little
Да,
bit.
это стакается, короче, дебаф.
Fairly effectively. You can
От
see the little
автоатак
bar there
вроде.
on the right-hand side. That's how you keep track of
Да.
it?
Right.
От автоатак стакается
There's
дебаф.
definitely an emphasis on trying to focus probably one target.
Okay.
Because when you hit that person or that one target, there's a lot of effects that end up being applied to everybody else around him. So it's really good to ramp it up on at least one person.
Yeah, it looks like it takes a little bit, at least just from auto attacks, in order to get that up
Yes,
there.
the
Abilities will
автоатаки.
apply Hysteria as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, the Hysteria will start decaying over time as long as Baron hasn't hit you within the previous 5 seconds.
Okay, cool. And Ben, this looks like it's easy to see, but also not particularly intrusive. What were some of the design iterations you guys went through for just how it looked on your character and on enemy characters?
Like the skull you're talking about?
Yeah, the skull and the meter as well, if you can talk about that at all. I don't know if that's what...
mainly the skull stuff is what we kind of worked on. We took, basically he has this really cool crystal skull, and we were like, you know what, man, we want to have that.
Ну, спадает он намного быстрее, чем стакается. То есть автоатачи придется очень много. Если скиллами не стакать. Может, он от урона зависит, возможно.
Crazy, so we thought it made sense for the Hysteria thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly like
это
big or anything like
так
that.
что автоатак сильных сверху.
Yeah, it's not just like a creepy skull. He's like having a good time.
Возможно, скилло будет стакаться.
The Hysteria, although it's a debuff, it's infectious fun. You know, it's kind of making them go crazy in a fun way. So we have this skull laughing. I will point out that the skull animations and position are still work in progress.
Sure.
About the only two things today, and we still have some time to work on the god that are work in progress, are going to be the skull on enemies, and eventually when we get to the snake on enemies, we're attaching other models to other characters, so those are still work in progress. But the abilities are all functioning and working as intended. So Hysteria is a really cool mechanic. I think Chaos explained the core of it really well, but it really brings to a whole bunch of different play styles. So you can order your abilities in any order you choose to help.
Ну, урон автоатак сразу видно увеличивается чутка.
So, you know, if you do 3-2-1, you'll most likely get the buffed 1. But if you do 1-2-3, you get the buffed 3 on a fresh target. And that can play out completely differently depending on how you like to play or what type of target opponent you have. Also, the Hysteria builds slowly and lasts a long time. So if the fight is lasting a long time, or if you're playing and rotating a lot or playing him in non-conquest modes, you can really spread it out and try to keep it on all the enemies and make your overall teamfight presence way stronger.
We use those extra effects on the abilities.
Yeah, you also will see it. You can you'll often change your mind in combat a little bit with him. You'll throw out some abilities into a teamfight.
Очень много тянут времени и получают отлично. Просто могли бы показать быстрее скилла.
Right.
Because you know you're going to get all the buffed effects on that target.
Yeah.
So it really adds a lot of creativity to his playstyle and a lot of quick decision making.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. More options usually mean characters that have flexibility, but also get those really high skill cap options.
Стакается бонус урон. Типа, неплохо.
Let's look at the one. This is probably one of my favorite abilities in the whole kit. Vivid Gaze. Look at that targeter. Moves. Okay. So this is a totally different type of shot here. So the 2 skulls show up and shoot out crosses.
Любители Януса приветствуются. То есть
обилка
по механике очень похожа со скиллом Януса, вот этим разрывом. Неплохо.
it overlaps, and so you can hit targets in that sweet spot to hit with both beams, and you can scale that in or out.
Okay.
So if you hit with both beams, it's going to deal less damage. This is pretty common in Smite.
Right.
So this is basically his core lane clear poke ability, and the Hysteria bonus is actually a power decrease. So if the target is hysterical, when you hit them with this, they're going to get % reduction of their physical and magical power and % attack speed reduction.
Okay.
So this is kind of his preventative attack as well.
Yeah, not a lot of
уменьшение скорости атаки будет у врага. То есть дебафается враг при попадании.
This ability is crazy fun to use, and probably one of my favorites. It does make his lane a little bit risky, I think, but it's a lower cooldown, right? So we can use this a lot.
Но обилка неплохая. Интересно, сквозь стены будет проходить или нет? На эти бафы так нехило.
More unique targeters in Smite, which is really fun.
Yeah, what's really cool is that basically both of these different skulls are independently controlled, and they can actually do different things. But for this case, we thought a first use case for this kind of tech was having the two deployables that fire these beams. But what's really cool is that they are completely independent of each other, so we can control them different ways.
That's really dope.
And we love making unique targeter shapes.
Right, and you can tell where it's going to hit before it actually ends up hitting, so if you have a quick reaction time, you can leap away, against dash.
Good warm-up feedback, yeah. And we went with the X just because the crossroads is a very key theme for Baron, life and death, the intersection, so wanted to show that off too.
All right, awesome. Next up is Consign Spirits. Consign to get them to help you out a little bit in this regard. Get a little bit of a circle targeter that has a little bit of a delay, but it looks like something came back to Baron there. Does he get something from this?
Yeah, so basically when he's guiding these souls to this spot, and he's putting them to rest.
Ага, прикольно. Она, походу, дебафает врага и ускоряет тебя и всех союзников. Очень круто. Вот это крутая билка. На тиму очень круто будет. Типа как спиды, только типа без активки. Неплохо, реально неплохо. Еще хилит, походу.
And basically, if you're at over that min hysteria threshold, that 30, then the souls also bring back a cleanse of slows, immunity of slows.
И урон наносит. Да, годно. Очень годно. Вторая билочка крутая. Но, возможно, мощный баланс достаточно.
And it's only what, a 2-second or 3-second speed up?
Yeah, it's a pretty solid speed buff, though.
Right, okay.
So what we really wanted to do here is design a true combat heal.
Okay.
You have to hit an enemy god.
Right, so
to
no
get
minions,
any healing here.
No jungle camps.
Right. You have
just
to hit
gods.
And if you hit
Бля, ну скиллы у него с задержкой все, то есть такое.
So it won't heal you twice for two gods.
But what's really cool about it is that extra % health.
Я же говорю, круто, но будет достаточно возможный босс. Круто, Happy Hunter, присаживайся, присоединяйся к нам.
This heal is more potent.
Oh, damage.
Really cool and encourages
heal. Да, он хилит.
And stack those debuffs playstyles.
Right, and very. I mean, this heal seems
ускорение
pretty solid there overall. I mean, 140 for just the flat heal in general.
Обилка. Привет, Хантер. Привет, дружище, присаживайся.
Yeah, I mean,
то есть это, такая саппортская обилочка, достаточно неплохая.
And just for the theming, we wanted to make sure he's putting souls away and they're going to people. Baron does not like just releasing things. He's not like Hades or Opwatch just
хил, урон, ускорение, ну, жестко, но, типа... Ты много пропустил. На самое главное успел. Бога нового смотрим, Барона.
Ну,
да.
With good timing.
Тут ты прав. Конечно, жестко. В плане баланса это жестко будет. Это бросок змеи. Это чисто это постепенный урон и стан.
Right, so this is his primary hysteria generator.
Но это уже слишком, по-моему.
Putting snake on someone would scare you. Or excite you, I guess, depending on what type of person you are.
It's true.
по идее, не наступит. Если она наступит, это очень жестко. Это получается, у него есть урон, хил, баф союзников, типа эскейпа, стан. Ну, это уже очень жестко. Очень, ну, такое. Да, я понял. Обилки тоже стакают пассивку. Да. Жестко, жестко. Уже очень жестко. Сейчас еще ульту покажут. Самое, так сказать, вкусненькое. Да, да, да. Я так и понял. Ну, стан, рут, все равно. Нормально. Пиздец. Жестко. Очень жестко.
You have to stay near the snaked enemy for a specific amount of time, and then the snake will hit you. It doesn't spread, it doesn't chain multiple areas, but once you are, you know, the bomb character,
союзники в радиусе очень много урона получают. Ну, блин. Смотрите, 227. 2 раза там было, да? 7 союзников в радиусе. Вот раз, 2. Это без предметов. То есть мы получаем 450 урона примерно без предметов. 7 союзников в радиусе. Представьте, что будет, когда он предметы соберет. Ну, это люто. Это очень лютый урон. Бред. Капец.
Really cool to give the snake its own devices. Attack of the players.
Yeah, so again, you said that before this FX is still a little bit of work.
Specifically that snake on flying around the characters, we're still working on the shape and size.
Ты прикинь, короче, растягивает, он бросает в одного змейку, все получают пизды, и он еще бросает свой второй, хилит всех союзников и при этом их ускоряет. Ну, блин. Камон, это очень жестко.
Baron, well, he's the life of the party, and that's the name of his ultimate ability.
Саппорт дамагер,
and this one is pretty nuts.
Что, блядь?
That is so much cooler than I thought it was even gonna be. I love it that he pulls the crypt out of the ground and sits on it. Then it'll bring everyone close to him. It looks like it stuns the first person that hits him.
Yeah, so basically.
В плане механики, да, он интересный. Бля, ульта прикольная.
So the first person that actually hits the coffin is going to get stunned, and they're going to take a massive amount of damage, both total percent HP damage and base.
Okay.
So basically, when you start pulling these people, if they're at no hysteria, they're going to be pulled at like a slower rate. But when they hit over that min hysteria, they start getting pulled in faster and faster.
Okay, so if you have like no hysteria, can you walk out of this still? Like, does it, even if you're on the edge, is that how weak is that pull at a range?
I don't think you can just walk out, but you have a.
И чем ближе, тем скорее ты.
But once you start getting
он мне уже
faster,
нравится.
like you gotta make a decision.
Ну, блядь. По механике, да, он интересный, но он жесткий. Блин, ты когда ближе в ульте приближаешься к центру, типа ты еще больше ускоряешься. Жестко. И причем, смотрите, там, да, по краям, типа, есть такие еще, типа таймер. То есть, если ты будешь сопротивляться, смотрите, насколько долго там ульта идет. Ульта очень длинно идет. Она заканчивается, когда кто-то притягивается, либо на время, но время там очень длинное. То есть, вот смотрите, вот по краям. Видите? Видите? Смотрите, как она длинная. Капец. Жестко. Очень жестко.
Very smart play for the support to really try to sacrifice themselves to Baron and take that coffin hit, because if he drives it around and gets squishy with that, they are going to be in trouble.
You get your full combo on him basically, if you, or not, maybe not the full combo, but a lot of guaranteed.
На ульт плюс копье мага в норм будет, да, и плюс еще за медло. Вообще жестко. Очень жестко будет. Посмотрите, время ульты очень большое. АОЕ тоже. АОЕ примерно, ну, чутка больше, чем ульта Медузы. Или даже не чутка больше в разы. Но по форме напоминает. Жестко. Пиздец.
Oh, it does.
Ауе лютая у него, конечно.
Right.
You can't get pulled through, but you can take the damage and get stuck against the wall.
That's really.
Смотрите,
really
пиздец, сколько урона.
He does look a little bit vulnerable during that though, without any sort of mobility.
So
Как мне быстрее подбежать? Ну, хз.
I'm not sure the exact percentage, but he gets damage mitigation.
Это его прыжки.
Damage mitigation.
Да, прыжки жесткие, прикольные. Ну, типа да. Чуть
I don't think
после.
it's.
Looks like half.
No, it's 50.
Yeah, 50.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, is it really? Oh, okay.
So it's half
Он что, хилит?
He's pretty much a sitting duck there. You can unload on him still.
Блядь, он что, хилит? А, ну, секунда.
So it's very dangerous for him to use this. It takes a lot of careful positioning.
Сейчас на стриме все гляну.
But he is CC immune, and he's also moving slower. So.
Sure. Can you cancel it early when you're using it?
Yeah, you can pick the cancel out.
Он хилит еще! Охренеть! У него 15% хила еще дает. Жестко. Жестко. Очень жестко. Да ну нахер. Ни от чего, она просто по дефолту.
That's his taunt animation.
Блять, какой войс бесящий.
Sounds like taunts and jokes and laughs are still work in progress. Yes, which we saw in other skins, so we'll see those soon.
Right, those will be up. Those will be up soon. But certainly the animation is good and is cool to see already. Man, the entire the entire just everything about this guy fits so well together.
Хила у него
He
очень
looks
много.
like he really is going to be a full-on party to play. Brings a lot to the table.
АУЕ большое, бафов много, баф есть еще для союзников, плюс хил для союзников и хил для себя. Блин. Пиздец. Ну, типа, жестко, очень жестко, серьезно. Если вы видели Чернобога, то вот этот будет, наверное, еще жестче, чем Черныш или Ахилл.
He works really well with a tanky cooldown build. A lot of his abilities require him to be in the middle of combat, be in the thick of things, which puts him at risk. So that build works pretty well with him.
Змейку бросаешь, притягивание, а потом вот этот баф для союзников, и все, пол хп у всей тимы вражеской нету. Работает? А, кстати, не знаю, нужно будет чекнуть.
Also got to give shout outs to Scott Kletzka. He was a 3D character artist for this. This is his first God bend.
He killed it, man.
Man,
killed it.
Incredible. Really, really awesome stuff. We got his recolor here for you guys to check out as well.
Жесть.
Red Rum is the name of this one.
Oh, recolor.
And look, his zombie friend, or his skeleton friends in the underworld are
hanging out.
And the afterlife are just crowd surfing him.
Baron.
He is partying.
Always partying. Man, I'm so excited for this god. I cannot wait to get my hands on him again. I've been waiting to play him ever since I got a chance to play him forever ago. Like when everything was still very different for him. We can take a look at that.
Там уже заканчиваем. Почти все посмотрели.
О,
реколор неплохой, кстати.
It's a nice color scheme, so we really wanted to bring it.
На фиолетовый круче выглядит, как цвет.
That's one of the deeper reds that we've seen for sure, I think, in one of those skins. And it makes the skull red.
He has like the skull gets red, and he has like this velvet kind of feel, so like there's a nice range of the red in the actual suit.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Very textured.
Yeah.
Overall, the dresses as he feels, as he acts, smooth all the way across. He's got his brew there as well.
No.
That's Baron Samedi.
And he's got his cigar in his hat too, which he's often pictured with too.
Nice.
Урона без вещей очень много. С вещами, ну, это будет очень... Просто жесть будет сколько урона с таким АУЕ. Да, очень жесткий.
A bit much, so we made sure they're present there and we incorporated.
При том, что он типа саппорт, потому что хил у него с двух скиллов получается.
So yeah, exactly.
Ну, в ульте я не знаю, типа хилит ли он союзников, но себя он по лье хилит точно. Ультой.
I just heard that we got the mastery card for him as well. We're getting those out early.
Yeah.
Look at that. That looks dope.
Красный реально лучше. Лучше, да, но типа цвет. Я красный я очень люблю. Легендарный будет круто выглядит. Вот именно легендарный. Ой, фу.
The blue and gold.
Because people really do. They go hard on some of these new gods.
Такой себе.
With diamonds and like
золотой такой себе, честно.
Now you'll be able to show that off even more with the gold legendary and diamond baron, which of course his outfit looks great in all colors. So
the man couldn't look bad if he tried. It feels like.
Фу, нет, золотой не очень. Вот легендарный должен круто выглядеть. Надеюсь, покажет. И даймонд не будет очень круто выглядеть, потому что весь его костюм будет типа даймондовый. Такой себе получится. А вот легендарный будет действительно крутой. Вот, легендарный круто выглядит.
His recall and his enter the arena are really great too. We can show the recall here after we look at this.
Годно, really годно.
His lobby animations are really cool. We use the coffin in a bunch of interesting ways. His death animation is pretty sweet.
Oh, that's so good.
О, типочка крутая.
He snaps his fingers and he just jumps in the
Вы видели? Там забаговало чутка, смотрите.
Смотрите.
Сейчас гроб спасет.
Oh, it's so good.
Перед этим видели? Гроб забаговал чутка, он с-под земли так вывалился и спрятался назад.
Man, it just like he just flows so well. This is really, really awesome.
Total package, man.
He really is.
We've got the diamond.
Diamond, ну diamond опять же такой же. А вот легендарный топчик.
Yes, you can't get any more swagged out than being an all diamond collar. The diamond snake.
Чутка напоминает свагни.
Always, baby. He's got it all working for him. So you expect it, like you said, a lot of stuff in the mid lane. Tried him out a little bit in support and solo, but do you expect him to be mostly a fairly traditional mid-mage with a little bit of utility involved?
I think so. You never really know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Players use gods in so many unique and creative ways. We're happy to see how they experiment with this god, but I think he is a solid mid laner with lots of applications elsewhere.
Whenever I was looking at the abilities, you know, one of the things that I look at as a former
competitor, у него очень много анимаций, когда он
двигается. Safety and lane clear. One, did you find yourself standing right next to the front of the wave and trying to hit the archers with the X, or like using one of the side shots from an angle?
So I did a little bit similar to how I kind of played Giannis, but it was more like I'm a little bit off to the side and trying to get the diagonal to hit as many minions as possible.
Okay.
And that seemed to be the most effective on wave.
Cool.
Арти тоже стримит. Да я знаю, что Арти стримит.
150
стоит баночка. Вау, много.
Looks like a really, really fun god to play. Very excited to get my hands on him. Speaking of getting your hands on him, I know you guys are probably very excited to play him on the PTS. We don't have an exact ETA on when the
Стянул, сразу кинул дебаф, змейку и вот эту штучку. Главное успевать даже прожимать все.
Working on it, no guarantees.
Блин, я расстроен. Я ожидал адекватности.
It's looking pretty good. Baron himself has a couple things just to finish up, a couple other issues, but I think we're going to be able to get those up and get it up tonight. But keep an eye out. It might be a little later.
Sure. So maybe tonight. Again, check all of our official Twitter accounts and all that kind of stuff for updates on that. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. I mean, 5.11 looks like one of the best updates in a long, long time. Really excited about that tier buff, by the way.
It's a very exciting buff.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Такое.
That does it for Life and Death.
Очередное расстройство, к сожалению. Я, честно, я думал, они смогут сбалансировать. Давайте я по чуть-чуть сделаю.
We'll see you later.
Все, пизду.
Nice job, man.
Ну чё, как ваши впечатления? Как по мне, то, блин, ну, в принципе, механика крутая. Ульта, типа, стягивание, ничего нового, ну, достаточно неплохо, как, типа, для мага, да? Хил круто, но с учетом того, сколько у него урона и АОЕ, скорее всего, это лишнее, и хил... Если бы не было бы хила, окей, но у него есть хил, баф скорости на 3 секунды, и урон с огромнейшим АОЕ, ну, это, по-моему, слишком. Плюс там еще рут на 1,5 секунды, то есть... У него, считайте, что есть все. Хил, баф, рут, урон, огромное АОЕ, ну... Не знаю, я расстроен. Я really думал, что с Бароном они смогут сделать что-то сбалансированное и нормальное. Типа, в меру дерьмоед, но в то же время играбельный. Но... Вот именно. Ну, типа... это очень жестко. Арес плюс вот эта хуйня. Арес ультует, тот сразу бросает змейку, пока они еще секунду в стане, и сразу же ультует. Урона очень много. Рут, потом он бросает еще хил для союзников. Там хил очень большой. Ну, Асклепию, конечно, понерфили, но это будет больно и неприятно. Я считаю, что это будет очередной имбалансный бог, который просто будет портить настроение в каждой катке. Как-то так. Вот. Ну чё, все, короче. Спасибо, что пришли. Мы посмотрели нового пиздюка. Вот. Лично мое мнение, очередная хуйня, которая просто не нужна. Ну, точнее, нужна, но разработчики ее неправильно сбалансировали. И если они ее не пофиксят нормально, то это будет просто минус катка, минус настроение. А на этом все. Спасибо, что пришли. Зовите друзей, подписывайтесь, ставьте лайки. Приходите еще. Всем спасибо. Всем пока. Чичи.